up, everybody? Welcome back to yet another video. It's been a few days, but I've been really busy. I know I always say that, but you know how it is. Today I thought we would be tying something a little more challenging. It's way back here. Uh, it's a flathead I haven't been doing in quite some time, actually. It's this one here. It's a squid pattern. I called it the Glass Squid back in the day when I was on my glass trip. It looks harder than it is, basically. It's also hollow inside, which we will see in a bit. So it's not that heavy as you might think because of the UV resin body. It's hollow, so it's not that heavy. Enough chit chat, let's jump straight down to the vise here and crank out this glass squid. So the hook here is, as always, from Eric's Hooks, the NS122. Of course, you can do this on one of the heavy wire hooks, which would make sense for a pattern like this, but I'm just tying it for the fun of it. I haven't actually caught a fish on it. I haven't fished it that much either, but I'm pretty sure it will catch a sea trout as well. But it's good practice, and you can transfer a lot of these techniques into something else. Kind of like the, what's it called from Holger Lachmann, the jelly bean sonker. Actually, funny story. People always get upset and discuss who invented what and all those types of things. And I remember a discussion a little while back where Holger was angry about somebody else tying his jelly bean sonker. And if you go way back, I was actually the first one to make a sonker that looked like that because of this exact fly right here. So I've never claimed that because I think it's silly. So that was a sidetrack there. What I did here is to cover up the shank with some bucktail in pink, and this is just to kind of flare out the feathers that would be going on here, which is also the next step. So I'm making a dubbing loop here. Why is it called a dubbing loop when you put feathers into it? Sometimes feather loop. So I will be using spay hackle or spay feathers for this, but if you don't have this is really hard to come by. If you don't have this, use some craft fur or some marabou, whatever. I just had some of this lying around, so it does look cooler, I have to say. So if you have some, use that. If not, use some craft fur. Whoa, and don't do like this. I'm just doing it like this to show you guys how you would do it with craft fur, a piece of craft fur. You have to put it into a loop like this. So I thought I would show you how to do that just with the feather. If you have a feather, just tie it in as normal in the stem. It's a lot easier than this. But again, things I do for you guys. Let's get a few turns in here. And just force it forwards for every turn. You can also see I left some of the marabou in, some of the fluffy part from the feathers, which will add some bulk to the head here. So secure that. That double loop, rest of it. See if I have any trapped feathers in here. Goes out. And then tie directly on top of this, forcing it all even more forwards. Like so. Ouch. I also chose some of the bobtail way down on the tail, like down here, because it has air in it, so it will flare out more. If you take this up here, it won't flare out that much, so that's kind of how you can control how much you want that bobtail to flare out. And that's done. And I want some rubber legs. Two on the side here in this white color. And I want some pink ones, these right here. Kind of on the top. Quite long. Always trim them afterwards. Secured. Just like that. Everything way up in front here. There we go. Last step, I want these really cool feathers, flat wings. Tie one in on the side, do 2 loose turns, you can kind of pull it. Get the length that you want, and just tighten that. Turn this a little bit. Pull it a little bit. This is too long. Oh, and just tighten it down. So that's that. Whole lot of movement. in the tail, which is actually the head of the shrimp. So I don't know, it's fly tying terms. The tail, the head, and the back, and the front, and I mean, I remember when I was starting out, people were like, tie it in the back of the hook. But to me, this is the front of the hook, because this is where you put in your tippet. So, and it also travels that way. So to me, it makes perfect sense that this is the front. But in fly tying terms, everything has to be upside down. So this is the back of the hook. I don't know. So that's that. One last thing here for the tying. We're using some sculpted flash fibers, or EP. I think we were called EP fibers back in the day. And we want a decent amount of this, because this will act as the foundation for the UV resin. This is quite important. So get all the short fibers out, pulling it, grab it here. I messed that one up, didn't I? I think this is good. So go. And what you want to do with it, you tie it in and you push it forwards like this. You see that? Which creates this bubble. And then you can put your UV resin onto that. Now I need a little bit more because I messed that up. So, same thing. This also has some nice flash in it, so that will really shine through. So again, you can see it. Push it out like that. It would create this. I don't even know how I found out about this. I guess it kind of just happened. Get that around the hook. Maybe a loose turn or two. And then just work it around. So it's distributed quite evenly around that shank. You can kind of just try it out a little bit here. So this needs to go forward like that. I think that's good. Yeah, let's go with that. But now, make sure this is, don't worry about this, trimming that off. But this here needs to be tight. Then grab some super glue. Directly onto your thread. A few trunks in here. Stay. See if I can get a little finishing here. Just to make sure. Don't worry about this sliding around a little bit. It will get under control with the UV resin. The most important thing here is just to have everything where you want it. Like that. Tying thread. Alright, so let's get this off. It doesn't have to be super clean because we were dealing in the ice here. So just tidy this up as good as you can. And also leave enough fuel. We'll just add to that tail, which is the head. There we go. See here. Then comb. Like so, the more you prepare this, the more time you put into this, the better the result will be. I obviously can't do it too much because this video will then just be way too long. It's already probably around 20 minutes at this point. So, and here you kind of have to get in the turn like so. And push this forward. That makes sense. Kind of have to look through the fibers. There we go. Push this forward just a little bit to make that bubble. There it is. Put this down. It's off. This just a little bit so we can get a good finish in. So tying thread. This is still a little bit loose, but I want it like that. So that way I can manipulate it a little bit still. And when I'm happy with it, I will just trim off this here in the back. So a good pair of scissors is great to have here. Great scissors are always good to have. I mean, that is probably one of the most important things. There we go. Now, to really clean this up, you can take a lighter or you can use one of these thread sap to kind of make the finish a little bit better here. Clogged up the eye or something. Use it for that. There we go. Now comes the fun part. That is creating the body. That looks good already. So let me just grab some ice. I think we could put some red ones on this one. Could look kind of cool. Red eyes. Go with those legs. So let's do that. And I had in my drawer with the pro stuff, I had a bottle of red sap unopened, but somehow it exploded down in there. So everything in that drawer is just smeared with UV resin. So if you have a tip how I can get that off, that would be great. Otherwise I have to, I mean, it's every time I open that drawer, it's just like, oh, I forgot. So let's get some resin on here. I like to start with the eyes. Got a good old drop on there. So, where's my lamp? Right back here. And the other side. Press it down. Great when stuff is working. Oh. Why isn't this not working? I've had this lamp almost, there we go, the entire lifetime of this channel actually. It's a really great one. I mean, I've charged this probably about 15 times the last 7 years. It just keeps on going, but it's, I mean, it has, like you can see here now, it's kind of just dying on me. It has like this, I've pressed this button so many times, so it has this kind of kink in the electronics. It's just probably just buying one, but I like that one. So the trick here with the body is to put on a drop, kind of like this, at the eyes. I think I'll do that first. But the trick with the body is, if you want it to stay hollow, you want to build this up in layers. So now the eyes are secured, so I like to do it like you have a little bit of resin on here. And just work it in. So it kind of makes this, you kind of want to put a small amount on the fibers on the outside and then harden it, and then after that it won't soak through. Rather than if you just slam on something now on the entire thing, it will also be super hard to control. So let me show it to you here. Just a little bit like that. I like to do it all the way around. Like that. And then with my bottle, just work it into that outer layer. And that way you will only get it onto the fibers on the outside. That, through that, let's see it here, really stiff now. You can also, I don't know if it's showing through on the camera here, but see, that bobtail and all that stuff in there is fluorescent, and it kind of shows through the body as well. I think it looks really cool. So now it's just a matter of building up this body. Don't cover the eyes yet, you'll do that in the last step, otherwise it will get too thick up in front. So, and you just want to let that set a little bit, not even have to work it in with your dubbing needle or something like that. I'm also working a little bit against time here because the blinds are open in the windows, so that's that. So, and if you have some small hairs sticking out, you can cut them off with a knife, like I'm doing here, with a razor. The fish probably won't care about this step, but I have to photograph this, you know that already, so this needs to be flawless. So, finishing layer here, I think. Now, stop covering the eyes. Just a thin layer. And finishing layer on the entire body here. Starting to harden on me, which is kind of annoying. I usually don't have that problem. This is a new bottle of resin, and maybe it's too good. I think it'll work. It has to. Say so. It's like it's really thick over on this side. There we go. I can live with this. Let's cure that. Yeah, it turned out really good. So just don't make these kind of flies in broad daylight. At least make sure the blinds are down to plug out that UV light. Make sure everything is hardened all the way through. So look, I think the legs are maybe a little bit too long, so just trim those. There we go, the feathers are not the longest, looks way cooler. Kind of like these arms that the squid has. Now there is the finished fly. Glass squid. Here, quite long, but very, very cool. So that's it for today, guys. Very long one, but I hope you have fun with it, and feel free to tag me in your creations on Instagram so I can see what you've got going on over there. Not only this, but also the other ones. That's it. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.